Hi, today we've got Samantha from Inverness talking to us. How are you, Samantha?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah.
Good. How's the weather way up north then?
Oh, it's raining today. I think it'll rain all day today, actually. It's quite
I
cold.
think I think we're having one of those weeks everywhere. We need the summer weather to come, don't
Yeah,
we?
yeah, definitely.
So, Samantha, do you want to share your stroke story with us?
Yes, Um, I had my stroke in May in 2017. Um, I was in the gym and I was doing some weightlifting, some deadlifting, and I didn't feel too well. And one of the gym members had noticed that he had picked up that it was like stroke symptoms, and he took me to hospital. I spent 6 weeks in hospital because I think my rehabilitation was mostly cognitive, and a lot of cognitive impairment. But while I was in hospital, I got an email to ask me if I'd like to go to South Africa and represent Scotland in the Commonwealth Powerlifting Championships. I did a little bit of powerlifting previous to the stroke and won the Scottish medals. And I thought, yeah, this is going to be something I really want to do. I was told lots of times by the hospital I wouldn't be ready. I wouldn't be ready. But I had a stroke in May and I had to go to September. I had to go to South Africa to compete. And I thought, yes, I'm going to do it. I had something to look forward to. It was just a goal, and that goal was set as soon as I got the email. I replied the email, said yes, we represent Scotland. At this time, I wasn't able to walk, wasn't even standing up. But within a few days, maybe 5, 6 days, I was on my feet. I was walking with some aids. I really wanted. The goal was to walk without some aids and get back to the gym and train for competing. Some of the staff in hospital they're very, very good to me. They give me extra physio, and I just kept going, kept going. And when I got to hospital, I came home, I started going back to the gym, and was ready to compete. And went to South Africa and competed in the the Commonwealth Championships, and got 4 gold medals for Scotland.
Wow.
So shortly after that, I was asked if I'd like to go to Sweden and represent Great Britain in the Paralympic Championships. And I did that. I went to Sweden and I placed third. And that was for third in Europe. I then got invited to go to Canada, the World Championships, and I did that too. And I placed fourth in the world in powerlifting. But at like 4'11" and 52 kilos, I'm quite a small person, but very determined. Because I had a goal, that's what I did. I just went for it. I just kept training and training, went for the goal and got all the medals. And after that, I was just really working on my cognitive impairment.
So you had your stroke in May, and
Yeah.
in the September, you went to South Africa and got 4 gold medals.
I did, yes. Yeah, it was a big situation. I didn't even realise what I was going into. Or I'd only ever had one small competition I competed in my own gym, and I didn't realise that I was going to get picked up for this. Yeah, so I went to South Africa.
So before you had your stroke, you'd sort of dabbled a bit in powerlifting, but
yes,
it wasn't a serious thing. This was South Africa that made it into a bigger thing for yourself.
Yeah, it was just something I did in the gym. Like everybody else, we're doing some weights. They kind of dabble into powerlifting like I did. And it was just, I think someone said to me, you're quite strong for a small person. And I thought, am I really? And then I done my first competition in my local gym that I went to. I won some Scottish medals, set Scottish records, and never thought I was going to compete again. And that was it. And I had my stroke. I was so determined to get out of that bed, put my feet on the floor and walk. And that's what I did.
That's amazing. So when you had your stroke to when you came fourth in the world, what was the time frame for that?
Within a year. So the first was in September. The next one was in January, which was the European Championships, and it was May, was the World Championships in Canada. So just short of a year of my stroke.
That's amazing. That's fantastic.
Then after that,
I was going to say you were lucky that the chap in your gym recognised the stroke symptoms then.
Yeah, absolutely. Without him, I didn't even remember. I think he just lifted me off. I was deadlifting, and I put the bar down, and I kind of sat down on the floor, and I think he looked across at me, and the next thing I remember, he just picked me up and carried me to his car, took me straight to hospital.
So that was good, getting you to hospital quickly. So what had caused your stroke then?
It was a blockage in the carotid artery.
Right.
It was blocked, and I think a part of the clot came off, and obviously went to the brain. Yeah.
Oh gosh, that's a phenomenal recovery then.
Mm.
You must have badgered those physios in the hospital.
I did. In the hospital, in the room I was in, the lady, I think there were 6 of us all together. The other 5 ladies were quite elderly. I was the youngest, and they had previous strokes, and I think they had other health conditions. So when a physio came around daily to offer them physio, they would refuse, completely refuse, just wouldn't do it. So I became a bit of a nuisance. And I think that is a nice word for it. And when the ladies would refuse, I would say, well, can I have her slot? Can I have her physio? And they would refuse to begin with, but they say, no, we can't do that. But the more I said it, the more I asked, and I didn't let go. I wouldn't let it go. They say,
Good for you.
You've had your physio this morning, and I want that ladies this afternoon. If she doesn't want it, I'll have it. You know, it's planned, I'll have it.
Yeah.
And I did sometimes got physio twice, sometimes 3 times a day. Yeah.
Gosh.
And within the first week, I was stronger.
Do you think these older ladies had sort of given up?
Well, they were in their 80s and 90s, really, 70s, 80s,
Yeah.
and 90s. One of the ladies said to me that I've been here before. She says, done all this physio, and I'm still in a wheelchair. What are they going to do to me now? And that was their attitude. They had kind of given up. But so
that's sad.
It's sad, but it doesn't sound great because I took their places. But if I didn't take the places, then the physios would have nothing to do with that half hour.
Well, exactly. If they've refused it for whatever reason, you might as well grab it, and it aided your recovery phenomenally.
Yeah. All I could see was I need to recover, because then in a few months I'm going to South Africa and I'm going to compete this championship. I've been offered it. It's something you don't imagine is going to happen to you.
No.
You're going to be one day at your work, working 70 odd hours a week, and the next day you're going to have a stroke. After the stroke, you're going to go to compete in the championship. It's just like, it's amazing. It's just something I would never thought I would do, but I'm actually absolutely love it. Love it.
So you mentioned before that you've got several sons.
Yeah.
How do they feel about their powerlifting, Mum?
Oh, I know. They've had a lot of stick from their friends, because the local newspaper picked it up, and interviewed me quite a few times. They interviewed me before I went to South Africa, and they interviewed me when I came back with my medals and things. I was obviously in the paper. They were absolutely mortified, but they think it's great. They think it's great because I'm actually stronger than one of my sons. He doesn't do any exercise or things or anything in the gym, so I'm stronger than him. It doesn't go down too well. It doesn't go down too well.
I love that. I've got 2 sons myself. I love that.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're not very challenged height-wise and everything, that must wind them up something.
Yeah. I think they call me wee Sammy D. My sons, they call me wee Sammy D. So when I go to compete anywhere, they get me t-shirts with the name print at the back, wee Sammy D. That's what they call me.
Bless. So you've taken yourself off to university as well?
Yes, I did. Yeah. Yep. After the competing was after done what I had to do with the competing. There was no championships, no competitions coming up. So I had like what will I do next? And I thought I would like to work for myself, because if I work for myself, I can choose what hours I work. And so I went to University of Highlands Islands, and I got a diploma in soft tissue therapy, and rehabilitation therapy, and sports massage therapy. I now do that at home. Well, I qualified just as lockdown started, so that gave me a great chance to get my head around exactly what I was going to do, and no pressure because I couldn't do anything
Yeah.
with the clients, no pressure there. I got my room set up at home. I got all the paperwork together, insurance, things like this, everything I need to do. There was no pressure on me, so it was done properly over a long period
Yes.
of time. So I do have clients. I work a Saturday and Sunday. Them 2 days, they're okay because I can plan ahead for them. I couldn't do the job full time because it's very physical. I work with a lot of people from the Highland rugby team. There are a lot of
Right.
a lot of big guys that
Yeah.
you're doing therapies on, and so it does take it out of you. But I must say, I got the diploma, and something I'd never in my 50s think I was ever going to do. But while I was at college, a university, they were very good to me. They allowed me to, they gave me what's called a quiet room. So if I became overwhelmed, noise and sounds, or anything was happening, I could just go away and go to the quiet room, gather my thoughts, and just get back to my normal self again. They also allowed me, because cognitively, I can't go from what I would learn in college, I would have to relearn it myself when I got home because I wouldn't remember it. So it was like kind
Yeah.
of working twice as hard. So I would learn something and come home, relearned again. Next day, I would remember half of it. So I was continuing over and over things all the time. The college was so good. They allowed me, as soon as the exam came up, the exam was 3 days' time, they would allow me to do it immediately. As soon as I learned something, I had an exam or an assessment straight away. So it hadn't gone out my mind, you know.
Yeah.
And they were
That's
very
good.
good to me. Very good to me. They give you loads and loads of help in the college. Loads of help. Yeah.
So for anybody of any age that's going to college or university, it's worth talking to the college or university to try and set these things up then.
Yeah, definitely. If you go to the college, there's always going to be help there. There's support all the time. You know, if you had a few days off college with fatigue, they're absolutely fine with that. They just sent me
Yes.
anything. They sent me anything I needed by email, and they would tell me, don't rush. You've got time. If your fatigue's too bad, absolutely don't rush. Take your time. They would give you extra time to do an assessment. If if your fatigue got in the way, or even hospital appointments or things like that, anything at all, they're very good. They're very understanding. You've got lots of support in college, absolutely lots of support. If I'd have known that, I'd have maybe went a lot earlier to college, if I realised that amount of support was there. But no, I
Yes.
would tell anybody, if you're going to go to the college, ask for support. It's all there, all the help's there, and they'll give you straight away.
That's really good to hear. So how are things now then? We're coming out of lockdown. Life's a lot easier than it was for you before you had your stroke.
Yeah. Lockdown was good for me because it gave me a lot of time to evaluate things. The pace of life was a lot slower, and I actually enjoy that. I've gone from being a really busy person, working 70 plus hours a week, I had my stroke, to working when I want to,
Yeah.
and it just evaluates things in life. It just evaluated a lot of things for me. I didn't have to be this superwoman that was running about doing everything all the time and chasing her tail. It gave me a lot of time to calm the whole. It's like everything kind of came to standstill and was all nice and calm. And that's something I really enjoyed. I enjoyed lockdown because of that. Give me a chance
Yeah.
to get everything organised again. Yeah. And
Well, that's
especially,
it. And now you're going to be working on a Saturday or Sunday, so you can have maybe a couple of slow days beforehand to allow you to cope with Saturday and Sunday. And
yeah,
then you're maybe going to have slower days Monday, Tuesday. So you can get your head round. It's not just
yeah, yeah.
a
That's
surprise and
exactly what I
everything.
do. What I do is I have a few days I don't do an awful lot because I know how many clients I've got on Saturday. I don't overload myself at work. I don't overload and say I can have 10 clients a day. Some people can do 10 clients a day. I would do
Yeah.
three, maybe four to push. And the Sunday, exactly the same, 3 or 4. That's all I'll do because I don't need to wear myself down, doing
No.
lots and lots of clients so I can do the rehabilitation with them. I need to look after myself first and
Exactly.
foremost, to take my time before I work and take my time afterwards, the next week.
Excellent. So you're going to keep going forward with your business then?
I am, yes, and I'm still doing back to my powerlifting again. I'm back to the gym. During lockdown, I had my own gym at home. Wasn't very motivated to do much in there. However, now the gyms are open, I'm back at the gym and back training again. Yep. There's no
Wow.
competitions in the pipeline just yet, obviously because of COVID. But when there is, hopefully I'll be ready for them. I've got enough time to get ready for them.
You'll have to keep us posted about how you
I
do
will, yes,
this.
I will. I will.
That is just phenomenal, especially
Mhm.
for such a small person as well. You'd think, that's an extra challenge in itself. Forget
Yeah.
about the stroke. That's but I think that shows your determination to
Oh
do
yeah.
it.
If someone sets me a goal, if I've got a goal to go for, then I'll do absolutely everything to go for it. I feel like I
Yeah,
like to be focused, and someone tell me in 6 months' time, would you like to do this? I'll just keep going and doing it. The same with
yeah,
college. I knew the college was University Highlands Islands, 3 year course, and I thought, 2 years is a long time, but it's not a long time. It just flies
no.
in. It's the best thing I ever did. I definitely going there. Didn't think at my age I could actually go back to college, but I did. Yep, that was great.
No, we'll never say never. I
No,
I got my
definitely.
degree the year before I had my stroke, so
Okay.
and that was 3 years ago. So never say never.
No,
It's
definitely, absolutely, definitely.
it's always possible, even for us older people.
People, and I was the mum in class. They made me the mum. I'm thinking, like, why? Because the girls and the few boys that were there were, I think, they ranged from 17 to 28. And I was like, I think I was 50, and a 51 or 52 at the time. So I was kind of like the mum. They made me the class rep and everything.
it's, it's
So,
it's like going to college or uni with your children, isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah. We called them the Wayne, called them the Waynes. And then I was a class rep, so they would phone me or message me if things weren't right, and it was my job to go to the park and complain. And yeah, I love that side of it though, because I was kind of looking after people again, you know.
Well, that's it. And it's because with being older, you've got a bit of a worldly experience, shall we say, and what have
Yeah.
you. And especially being a mum as well, you sort of used to sort of looking after youngsters, shall we say,
Yeah.
and getting things done. So it's just
Yeah.
it's in your blood, isn't it?
Yeah. Youngest boy in our class was 17, and he's only like 3 years older than my grandson. I've got six
Crikey.
grandchildren. So he's only just like older than my grandson.
Oh dear, that's funny, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So you're just going to hope that we stay out of lockdown, and your business will go from strength to strength as you want it to, because
Yeah,
you're in charge of it and
yeah,
everything,
that's it.
and take it from there.
Yeah,
So, and
yes,
as I
that's
say,
it.
let us know how you do in your future powerlifting
Yeah,
competitions. I think as restrictions are lifted, hopefully they'll get back on. But in the meantime, you can get in that gym and get training.
yes, exactly what I'm going to be doing. Yeah, I'll be going this afternoon.
Well, thank you very much for talking to me today,
Okay.
Samantha. It's been fantastic, and we'll all be waiting with bated breath to hear your next competition.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right then, bye.